Hello and welcome to the Bald Truth Review 2014 by-election special. You know, many people have asked me to make some kind of personal statement on my thoughts about these two by-elections. By-elections, of course, that did not come about by sitting states members losing their seats at the polling station. By-elections that came about because of the actions of the completely politicised and corrupt Jersey justice system. By-elections, of course, that revolved around seats formerly held by both myself and former Deputy Shona Pittman in St Helier No. 2. This issue really got me thinking as to whether it was worth making any comment, because what I've learnt over the last few years, and particularly in the last 12 months, is that the real power in this island does not lie within the States Chamber. It actually lies within that politicised royal court next door. Just think about these facts. Time and time again in recent years, we've seen those few people who have really worked hard, those people who've really put their neck on the line to try and make a difference to this island, to fight for justice, to fight for the well-being of abuse victims. We've seen them trashed and even ousted by that politicised royal court, along with its trusty state media. You really have to think no further than former Police Chief Graham Power, Senior Investigating Officer Lenny Harper, former Senator Stuart Sivray, and of course, only this past month or two, former Deputy Shona Pittman and myself. But does all of this mean that you shouldn't use your vote on March the 5th? Well, I still don't think that apathy, that not voting is the way to go. Because apathy, staying away, just plays into the hands of those who do control this island, that small clique who keep Jersey run almost as a private club. Do I think that there are any candidates out there putting themselves forward for these two seats who can make a difference on their own? Well, I have to be quite blunt and say, no, I do not. However, people should still go out and vote for the people who will stay true to their principles, who will stay true to what they told you, the public, on your doorstep. People who, in essence, won't be for turning. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about briefly now. But first, I think we really should take a look at the serious establishment candidate who's been put forward in St Helier No. 1 district. Now, the establishment candidate in St Helier No. 1 is, without any shadow of a doubt, Mr. Gordon Forrest. Have I got anything personal against Mr. Forrest or his candidacy? Most certainly not. However, the reality is that his credentials are there for all to see. Just consider that one of the people putting Mr. Forrest forward is none other than establishment Senator Paul Routier, the very same man who put forward the seldom seen in St Helier No. 1, James Baker. Another person who put Mr. Forrest forward is none other than Advocate Rose Coley, a lady who I'm very confident we will see
councillor on the London
in the senatorial elections come October 2014, fighting the establishment corner. What this comes down to in essence is this: if you're quite happy with the way things are, if you're happy with tax breaks for the rich, if you're quite happy with a government that doesn't listen, if you're happy with an ever-entrenched two-tier society of haves and have-nots, then, in my view, Mr. Forrest is most definitely the man for you. In stark contrast, fortunately, I believe there is one candidate who you can rely upon to always vote in the interest of the ordinary working person, to always vote in line with the principles he told you about on the doorstep. And that candidate is Nick Le Cornu. How many times have we seen candidates come forward pledging their commitment to a community, to a district? They're then unsuccessful and are never heard of again. Nick Le Cornu is a striking contrast to this, because again and again Nick has put himself forward to represent the people in St Helier number 1. Even though he's not currently a States member, he's regularly been out there campaigning, trying to raise awareness to political issues in the island. He can regularly be seen registering people to get them on the electoral roll for the first time. Indeed, he also regularly assists and even represents people at employment tribunals. In essence, and I think this is so important, I'm confident that Nick Le Cornu is one candidate who would not succumb to the inevitable approach from Philip Balash, Philip Joseph, with the arm around the shoulder, come and join our club, sell out your principles, join the gang approach. I think Nick Le Cornu can be relied upon, not to be turned. He can be relied upon to stick consistently to voicing those opinions, those views, and fighting for those issues that he has told the electorate about in this by-election. And that alone, in my view, makes Nick Le Cornu worthy of a vote on March the 5th. Now, let's just briefly consider St Helier number 2. And now turning to the by-election in St Helier number 2 district, I believe that this election is a much clearer case. St Helier number 2 was, of course, the seat formerly held by my wife, the then Deputy Shona Pittman, who won election to the States on no fewer than 3 occasions, and of course never lost that seat in an election. That seat was taken from her, as I've said, by the actions of the corrupt Jersey justice system. Fortunately, in St Helier number 2, there is one young man, a young man called Sam Mezek, who both Shona and I believe very strongly can offer a great deal to the ordinary working people of that district. A young man who's principled, he's hard-working, he's a law graduate, he's a reform campaigner, he's a young man who I think you, the elector, can rely upon in the same way I was talking about Nick Le Cornu, to not be swayed to join the club and to again and again vote according to the principles that he's told you about on the doorstep when he's been campaigning. St Helier number 2 has a long tradition of candidates who wholeheartedly represent the ordinary working people. That was undermined in the last election when the establishment managed to get Rod Bryans elected. The people in District 2 really cannot afford to have another establishment candidate. And that is why I would actually urge everyone to get out there and give a vote to Sam Mezek. Both Shona and I genuinely believe that he will not let people down. So thank you for tuning in, and I do hope that you'll tune in again in the future, as I can tell you that the Bull Truth Review is going to be revamped and relaunched in the coming weeks. Indeed, I'm pleased to be able to tell viewers that as we move towards summer 2014, we're going to have two very big developments that we hope to share with you. Two developments which I'm very confident will make a real difference in Jersey. In the meantime, don't forget, get involved, because if you don't do politics, politics will do you.